have to have everybody over at my house sometime before I move.
I've still never been to that house.
What? You've been outside of it,
Really?
right?
To my knowledge, I've never been outside of it.
Didn't you bring Zoe to like get her car one time?
That's conceivable.
Inconceivable. Well, you have to come over this weekend.
Is that doing this weekend?
You're coming over to my house.
No.
I don't know. This weekend is the 17th and 18th.
Has
Nothing.
Climate Change sponsored an episode of Walkabout the Galaxy? I have it written out here, and I haven't
I don't
written
think
another
so.
one, and I don't have it bold-faced.
Does boldface meant you've read it?
I've
No.
used it, yeah.
I don't believe so.
Does it sound familiar to you? Climate change? Feeling nostalgic for the muggy days of the Cretaceous?
That does actually sound familiar. Does it? Or am I crazy?
Or maybe you're just feeling nostalgic for the muggy days of the Cretaceous. Maybe it just feels like the muggy days of the Cretaceous outside.
Maybe it just feels like my sponsor messages usually start with feeling nostalgic for
My running backs
something.
all got way over their estimated
Okay.
points.
I'll do
Did
a
they
new
just
one.
like have low estimates at the beginning of the season?
No.
Or did I just get
Yeah, I
really
like
good
it.
running backs? Because like the two I had in were both predicted to do like 8 something, and one got 25 and one got 17.
That's preposterous.
And then my backup running back, well, he only got 10, but the other one got 18, and he was predicted to get 7.5. I'm randomly drafted very well.
Monstrous. All of my guys is below their predictions.
I need new tight ends though. How did the Cardinals
This is the real trouble with the football season. Zoe gets so wrapped up in fantasy football that when her team doesn't do well,
Yeah.
she just genuinely, like,
She seemed real upset.
she gets genuinely, like, really pissed. And it's just,
Really?
like, in the end.
Couldn't you
it's
tell in the
this-
elevator?
Well, I don't know, she seems so good-natured.
But she's
that
genuinely, like, it ruins her friggin' weekend when fantasy doesn't do well. And
That's
it's
why I stopped watching football at all, because it ruined my weekend when my team
Yeah.
didn't do well.
Yeah.
And it's like, who needs that?
You know what ruined my weekend? So supposedly there was supposed to be a watch party, a Mizzou watch party at Friendly Confines. So like we got an email from the Mizzou Orlando guy. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna do watch parties this year at Friendly Confines." So I missed the first one, but I decided to go this week. And I went to it, and there were no other Mizzou people there. Didn't bode well. Sat down. Game wasn't on any of the TVs.
Mm.
Took 25 minutes to get the game on one of the TVs, of the like 30 TVs they had there. I had to ask 5 servers, and it took that many times. And they were supposed to have like Boulevard beer specials, and they did not have those. So either I was at the wrong Friendly Confines, and the email was completely wrong, or they just didn't do it. But I was quite irate, because Friendly Confines is awful.
I've
Their
never been there.
food is terrible.
Where
I
is
had
that?
never been there either. This was the one at Aloma and Summerin.
I'm familiar with that intersection, but I'm not familiar with that.
It's, you know where Habaneros is at that
Yeah.
intersection? It's in the area behind it.
Oh, okay, huh,
Like off of Aloma.
okay.
But it's awful. Apparently it's that Friendly Confines is better than the one in Waterford, which doesn't bode well for the one in Waterford. But their food is terrible, their service sucked. They were out of things. Anyway,
Didn't
that
win?
made me irate. The Missouri did win though. Yeah, we were playing Eastern Michigan, so it would have been upsetting if we hadn't won. Oh man. So one of the grad students came up to me in the hall earlier and was talking to me about this undergraduate showcase thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember his name at all. So I was like, email me. And he did. So
Yeah,
now
his
I
name.
know his name. Where's my fucking appraisal?
Shit with the houses always takes forever.
We were supposed to do it on Friday, and supposedly it now exists somewhere, but I haven't been emailed it yet, and I'm tired of waiting. But, ooh, there is going to be a brush cutter waiting for me at my house when I get home. Masa ordered a fancy, like, edge trimmer brush cutter thing.
Oh, nice.
Because there's, like, giant overgrown patches in his lawn. I'm going to destroy them. It's going to be awesome. And I might get stung by wasps and or bit by snakes. But
Bit by snakes.
we call it the snake pit because it looks like a nice place for snakes to live. but there's probably not snakes there, and I will wear closed-toe shoes.
Well, this is a terrible, so I can either do the climate change one, which isn't like it's any good, or I can do this other one, which is terrible.
Ooh, not any good or terrible. Let's go. What's the other one?
Fantasy football. I just wrote it. That's why it's terrible. Like, I was not in a good headspace to do it. So.
I mean, I'd vote for fantasy football, except it sounds terrible. But it is week 1 of fantasy football, so can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear myself. Oh, now I can. Oh, weird. Okay.
You can only hear yourself when you have headphones.
Well, I have this headphone on.
Okay.
It just was louder in my left ear. I think I'm deaf in this ear right now, though, so that could be why.
Okay. So we're doing
It's like popping
Osiris
in my ear.
Rex. Who's our Osiris Rex expert?
All of us.
Jim.
Hey!
All of us are
The
experts.
scale of
We were
that is
there.
small. We should also mention the finding of Philae.
Philae!
Yes. The Finding of Philae. That's even a good episode title.
Except it's not the basis of the episode.
No. Philae. Orex. New Glenn.
New Glenn. Yeah.
Star
Oh,
Trek
this will be
50.
What's New Glenn?
Oh, we'll tell you.
I don't know what it is.
What's this
Star Trek
about?
50.
Star Trek 50.
Yeah. Did you do anything special for the Star Trek 50th
I didn't do
anniversary?
anything special for Star Trek 50.
Well,
They
there
did
you
not.
go.
I was very disappointed.
I saw some,
there just wasn't more stuff
online
happening.
articles that there was very much disappointment that like there
Yeah.
wasn't a big thing.
It's like,
for
way to
it.
go, CBS and Paramount. You
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
Pretty much that was what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. I saw some of that too. All right. Here we go. We're ready to go?
Always. No.
Ready to go. Where's my hack? Where'd Audacity go? It's on a completely other screen. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Room silence. Five, four, three. Welcome to Walkabout the Galaxy. We're strange, charm, and top the astro quirks, here to bring you the latest, funnest news from the world of astronomy. Today we're going to be talking about the Osiris Rex mission, which launched last week. A beautiful launch from right around the
Yeah.
corner here. Addie, you got to look at that up close.
So did Jim.
Yeah.
You were down there
We
as
were
well?
there.
You were at the same launch viewing?
Yes.
We were
Okay.
almost next to each other.
Sitting 5 feet apart.
Yep.
Nice. I was watching it from my car, but I had a beautiful view, admittedly from much further away, but a nice unobstructed view down University Boulevard here in Orlando.
Nice.
Also, some news from an old friend from our podcast, the Philae lander
Philae!
on Comet 67P Churyumov Gerasimenko
Nice.
Nice. Well done.
has
Nice.
been found.
He didn't even practice
I know,
that
I was
beforehand.
gonna
That was
say, yeah.
fantastic.
It's been found, and it's so cute. I don't know, you see the picture and you're just like, oh, little lander. He's stuck in a little dark crevice on
Very
this
sad,
comet.
but he's dead.
He's been dead.
He's been
but
dead for a
still.
while, but we've seen his body now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That
actually,
was morbid.
kind of always dead. But I don't know, it just sort of looks sort of forward. It's like, oh, there he is. He was there all that time. And so we'll talk about that, some other news coming up. But first, this episode of Walkabout the Galaxy is brought to you by Fantasy Football.
Yeah.
Does your favorite team suck? Now you
Yep.
can create a sucky team all by yourself. Select players from teams you hate to go up against your friends' creations and subject yourself to even more disappointment.
Yes.
With Fantasy Football, now every game is an opportunity to be bitterly disappointed.
Yay!
It's a kind of a strange
That's a glass half
sponsor
empty.
message.
It is
Yes,
a strange sponsor message for an astronomy podcast.
it's a strange
But-
sponsor message in all because it's
They
like
usually
Fantasy
are.
Football, it sucks.
But it's pretty awesome.
It's worthwhile too because there are a lot of the fantasy football is kind of the nerdy activity for football fans. Right?
Mhm.
It's the intersection of the jock crowd with the nerd crowd that
Yeah.
play fantasy football.
Well, one of the interesting things about it is
Fantasy
it's,
baseball too.
well, I don't play fantasy football, but you guys both do, right?
Affirmative.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong.
Not in the
here.
same league this year though.
Nope.
Oh,
You're lucky because you'd be going down.
in fantasy football,
Unlikely.
so many things I could have said right there. In fantasy football, you can be watching a game featuring a team that you would like to normally win. So Jim, you're a Cleveland Browns fan, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So you might be watching a Cleveland Browns game, but you might have a fantasy football player from the opponent of the Cleveland Browns
That's right.
team. Like maybe you've got the quarterback on whoever's playing against the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
So simultaneously you're rooting for that quarterback to be throwing touchdown passes, while at the same time you're rooting for the Cleveland defense to intercept him.
That's right. That is
So
it is a challenge.
This provides some cognitive dissonance or something, I would think.
It does. It does. If at all possible, I'd like to bench players that are playing against the Browns, but that's not always possible, and so sometimes
Sometimes you're in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
you're kind
you
of
don't
kind
have-
of
you don't
averages
split
out. You're
loyalties.
kind of never really happy or never really upset in a case like that. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in gambling, there's similar sorts of things where like you root for this team to win, but then you root for it also. You bet for team A to win, but you also bet for it to be a low scoring game. So it's like they go ahead and you're like, yay, but then they keep scoring. You're like, oh,
Stop doing so well.
yeah, I can't handle that. So.
It's good for me because I haven't really ever watched NFL football that much. But so now I occasionally tune in to like see who's doing well, and I'll occasionally watch games just to look for my players. I'm more of a college football person though, so.
Yeah, there's not a similar thing for college because the people are changing so much
Yeah.
all the time.
I mean that's true in the NFL too, but
Yeah,
It's
but
more
not as
free-
much.
they don't
I mean,
last
it's
as
a,
long.
it's a smaller universe of
Yeah.
of people to
Yeah.
deal with.
plus I think there would be legal issues with
Yeah.
that.
And then there are fantasy leagues for
Baseball.
baseball, probably for everything, right?
There's
There's
I've
definitely
seen it
hockey.
for fantasy bass fishing and
Oh,
golf.
man.
Well,
Everything.
I was trying to
Everything.
figure out if we could have a fantasy space exploration league or
could,
something
we
like
could, I
that. But
think
I'm not
so.
sure what you would do.
How you would do that?
There's not as many players in space exploration as there is.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not like every week you'd update your roster or anything.
But how about like
You
fantasy? How about fantasy astronomers?
That's a different.
Somebody could draft
That's a different
you,
thing.
Addie.
I hate to have to root against
I
an
don't-
astronomer.
I don't think that's like a sports
That's like-
game.
I'll be.
That's something else that's on the internet.
Oh. I haven't checked that site out.
I haven't either.
But you could be like, you get points if somebody publishes a paper. It's like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'm gonna,
Oh God, it's already stressful
or
enough.
if they give a TED talk, or if they like appear on a talk show. So you could
That's
have
more
Neil
like
deGrasse
bingo.
Tyson. You would get points every time he's on
Mm.
the Daily Show,
Mhm.
and then you could have Brian. Well,
Yeah,
Brian
Brian
Greene's not
Greene.
really an astrophysicist.
He does astrophysicsy stuff.
You could have you get a whole bunch of points if somebody wins a Nobel Prize.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, this is
so
a
we
really
should totally set
long-term
that
game
up.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, it would play out over. You
Yeah.
could do it in a 12-month time period.
Okay.
You publish papers,
Yeah,
several
but like
papers a year.
in fantasy leagues, you change things at least once a week. Like you change your roster at least once a week.
Do you?
Yeah. Like you update who's on it, you draft or you trade new
Doing
players.
trades. Yeah.
And you also switch your like bench around. You know, who's playing that week.
Okay.
In baseball, it's every day, and that's why I'm bad at fantasy baseball because I don't have the brain, the time
Right.
or inclination to change my roster every day.
I don't have the time or the inclination to do it either, which is also why I don't.
Yeah, I didn't do so well in my fantasy baseball league this year.
Oh.
It's all right.
In addition to the OSIRIS-REx launch last week, there was a notable event.
Discovery.
Oh, which
Oh.
discovery?
Anyway.
Oh, I was going to do our nerd news.
Nerd news.
So September 8th, 2016 was the 50th anniversary of the airing of the first episode of Star Trek, the original
Woohoo!
series,
Woo!
1966.
We should have had a watch party.
We should have. There should have been all sorts of events, but
Yeah.
you were actually off watching the launch of OSIRIS-REx
Oh yeah.
on that
that's
time.
true.
That
On
was
that day.
that day was the 50th anniversary of Star Trek.
It was the 8th? I
It
was
was.
thinking it was Friday. Okay.
No, yeah, it was the 8th.
Well, we could have had a watch party on Friday or something.
Facebook
Yes.
did more to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Star Trek than Star Trek did. Star Trek being the rights holders,
Yeah.
Paramount for the movies and CBS for the TV show.
Yeah.
So it really-
Different people have the rights.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
bizarre.
it is a little bizarre. So here's a
It's
trivia
not all the
question.
same family company?
I don't think so. Here's a trivia question that's not actually our trivia question. It's just a trivia question for you guys. Maybe we already did this, actually. I have a feeling we talked about this on a past episode. What TV company was the original studio producer of the Star Trek TV series? Any ideas? It was not CBS.
What? TV company. I don't know what TV companies were around back then.
Because that's so old.
Yeah,
Look at me.
NBC.
No, it was Desilu.
Desilu.
That's not a thing.
It is. And do you know who it's named after?
Desilu Griffith.
I know.
Oh, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz.
Very good.
Oh yeah, that makes
It
sense.
was their production
Which is
company.
weird.
Oh.
It was their production company.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball was instrumental in getting Star Trek on the air and having
Oh,
it go,
man.
at least at the sort of final approval levels there.
Go Redheads.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Star Trek 50th anniversary.
Yay.
The first episode that aired was, I believe, The Man Trap.
Correct.
However, that was the fourth episode filmed, and I'm not entirely sure why they did it that way. Not counting the pilots, it was the fourth episode filmed of the first season.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why they did it that way.
Not counting the pilot, which didn't have like the same.
No, there were
cast.
two pilots. The second pilot did
Oh,
have
okay.
Kirk. It did not have all the same cast as what we originally ended
Yeah.
up seeing on the TV show. But yeah. So what did you do to commemorate the 50th
Did you buy the
anniversary of Star
stamps?
Trek?
I don't have the stamps yet.
My mom just sent me a picture. She bought the stamps.
Yeah, I've seen the stamps. I don't have the stamps. But I'm very excited about them. Being a stamp collector and a Star Trek fan, that's a fantastic set of
World
It's a
stamps.
dream
Collide.
come true.
Yeah, that's great. The U.S. isn't the only country, of course, that has issued commemorative stamps for that. There are a number of them.
Oh, were you
Ooh.
getting them?
Canada just, I was very upset because Canada just issued a really great set of Star Trek stamps as well. And I was in Canada a month ago.
Too
But
early.
I was driving through on a Sunday and then came back through on
Oh.
another Sunday,
Oh.
and the
When did
everything was
they?
closed.
When did they? Because I was in Canada 2 months ago.
They-
Were they out?
I'm not sure.
I-
They were definitely out at the beginning of August when I was there.
Oh,
We know
shoot.
people in Canada.
Send them down.
All right.
Have them mail you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other countries are doing Star Trek stamps? Because
I'll
it's
have
not
them mail me
actually
some stamps.
it's not equally popular in even in sort of Western Europe.
Right.
Like it's pretty big in England and Germany, but
Mhm.
not at all in France.
Why? Why don't French people like Star Trek?
I don't know, actually.
Hmm.
You should ask some French people we
They
know.
are too cool. I don't know.
He is foolish.
Well, a lot of countries will issue
He's foolish.
stamps.
He's not logical. He's foolish.
A lot of countries will issue stamps not because the people in that country like the thing, but because they know that stamp collectors in the U.S. will buy them. Yeah.
Okay, so the
They have a
the
captive
publication of the
market.
stamps doesn't necessarily correlate with.
No, you'll get things like countries like Djibouti, so
I love
putting
that
out
country name.
Star Trek stamps and things like that.
That's pretty
like
cool. Are you going to be
Django.
buying any international Star Trek
Probably
stamps?
not.
Okay.
I'll buy the Canadian and U.S. ones, and that'll be about it.
Okay, that'll be about it.
A boot.
Yeah, so it's big in England and it's big in Germany. I don't know about Spain, Italy, the other sort of Mediterranean countries. Addie's biting her tongue because I said big.
You know what's not big? Filet.
Filet.
But it's big news because
Ooh,
Rosetta
bam!
saw
You're just
it.
bam.
I'm all over these today. But yeah, Rosetta finally found Filet.
So Philae is the sort of dishwasher-sized comet lander. I guess
Yeah.
that's a weird
No, it's a good scale though.
size scale.
It's a
I don't
good
know.
size
It's
scale.
about that size, right?
Yeah.
It's a meter,
so.
yes.
Yeah. It's a kitchen appliance-sized spacecraft.
Well, kitchen appliance isn't good because like a toaster is a kitchen appliance
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
and a refrigerator is a kitchen appliance.
Fine. I was trying to get
Oh,
ovens in
dishwasher
there.
is great.
I was trying to get ovens
Oh,
in
oven
there.
size is good too.
Yep.
Yeah.
This dishwasher oven-sized spacecraft that was carried by the European Space Agency mission Rosetta
Mm-hmm.
to land on this comet. It's a short period comet, 67P. The P stands for period. Periodic.
Periodic.
Periodic. Short period comet, so we've known its orbit, we've seen it for a while. It's the rubber ducky comet. We've had some episodes about it in the past. Because some amazing pictures of this
Mhm.
comet.
We've talked about Filet.
And we've talked about Philae. They deployed the
Yes.
lander and it went down to the surface of the comet, but its attachment mechanism to the comet surface
Mechanisms.
did not work properly.
Mm-hmm.
They did
Yeah.
not attach it to the surface.
Yeah, it had little jets that were supposed to fire upward to sort of push it down, and they
Just
knew,
like in Armageddon.
just like in Armageddon.
Yep.
Oh.
Didn't work.
And but they knew those probably
like
weren't
our
going
They
to
knew
work.
those were stupid because they
because-
stood on the gun.
No, because the gases weren't working or something. So they predicted those weren't going to fire on the surface. But then they also had little harpoons that were supposed to stick in,
Like a Deep Impact.
like in Deep Impact. But those didn't work either.
Oh.
Oh. Because it bounced.
It bounced. It bounced twice, and it bounced super slowly, but the gravity's so low that it took it like an hour for it to come
pretty
back
awesome.
down.
Yeah, these
It
bounces
seemed
are
like it was
big,
a
like
Kerbal problem.
kilometer type bounces, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The bounce is almost as big as the comet.
The comet,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It like went around the side of the comet,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And it went to this place. They figured out where it probably was, but the problem was it was like a shadowy bit, and it was in a weird place, so they weren't going to be able to see it. But they've been looking for it, and they've been looking for signals from it for a long time. But now Rosetta is getting closer and closer to the comet because eventually it's going to make its own softish landing on the surface.
Mission-ending
So
landing.
soft.
Right.
They're
She
hoping.
said.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
They're hoping that it makes a soft dish landing and like continues to send data for a little bit, I think. But
Are they really? I
think
thought they
so.
weren't
That's what I
expecting
heard the
any
last time.
data after contact.
last I heard is they were gonna maybe try to. I mean, it's optimistic, right? But
Yeah.
make a soft dish landing.
The reason Philae, it bounced, came to rest on the comet surface, so you might think, oh, great, everything's fine. But
No.
it's not just the ability for it to communicate back to the Rosetta, but also to see the sun, to get power for its to charge up its batteries.
Right.
So it was in a particularly shadowy.
Right, so
Perhaps.
it did give us information for the first few hours, right? So it had
On
power,
its initial
right,
charge,
because it had the
basically.
battery was charged, but then it
Yeah.
couldn't recharge because it was in
Right.
perma shadow.
And
Yeah.
they heard one little tantalizing bleep,
Yeah.
sort of, hello, help, 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 from it a couple months later when the comet got close to the sun, and it probably got just enough charge to sort of wake it up from a coma briefly, so it could say, help, help.
Oh, that's very sad.
It is.
This is
But so they
You're
finally got a
ruining my
picture of
night.
it because they have like 5 centimeter resolution now on the surface with the orbit it's in, which is crazy.
Right.
And super awesome. So they finally saw it, and it is in this little like dark crevasse, and you can see it in the zoomed in image, and it kind of looks like it has a little arm reaching up, trying to
It does,
climb out.
it looks like you just
Oh.
want to go, oh, poor little
Poor
fella."
little Philae.
Poor little
I know. I see the pictures.
Philae.
Pictures are fantastic. Maybe
So
we'll post
crazy.
those on.
Our
Definitely.
Facebook page
Our Facebook
and our
page.
website.
At our website.
So it's cool that they found it. They know
Yeah.
where it went. It's sad that we didn't get more data from it.
Yeah.
But,
It had
That's-
Philae had like 12 instruments or some ridiculous suite on it. It had this ridiculously awesome suite of instruments on it
for a lander, that's
for
a
a
lot.
lander. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean it wasn't huge, so. It was...
How big was it?
I think it was bigger than a
Like, put it
toaster.
in terms I can understand.
I think it was bigger than a toaster, but smaller than a refrigerator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if
If
you
only
can
there
come
was
up with something
I
in
don't
between
know.
that's about the
Yeah,
right size.
Something in between there. I don't know. Like bigger than a microwave,
Yeah, probably.
but smaller than a washer dryer.
Yeah. Mhm.
Something. I don't know what. Our actual trivia question for this episode.
Oh, we haven't
What?
had. Oh, that's right. We did other fake
No,
trivia.
the fake, the Desi
Faux
Who,
trivia.
which I think may have been in an actual trivia
Oh.
in the past episode.
No.
Double shame on Eddie for totally forgetting.
No.
That's possible.
I respectfully disagree.
Well,
Anyway.
this episode's trivia question is not a multiple choice.
Okay.
Mhm.
Why is there a brass ring embedded in the middle of 8th Street in the town of Manitowoc, Wisconsin? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that town's name correctly. This is a space-related trivia question. And your clue, would you like a clue?
Sure.
I think we need a clue.
Repeat the question and then give the clue.
Yes. Of course.
I was so
Dr.
confused. I was so
Dr.
confused.
Cooney, I'll repeat the question, and then I will give the clue.
Thank you.
Why is there a brass ring embedded in the middle of 8th Street in the town of Manitowoc, Wisconsin? That's Manitowoc. And obviously it's a space-related question. So
Okay.
that brass ring is there for something that has to do with space
Mhm.
somehow. And it is, and here's the clue. Or can I go ahead and give the clue now?
Please do.
Please.
The clue is that the answer is similar in some sense to the discussion that there's related in some sense to what we were just discussing with Philae.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, that was the clue.
That's the clue.
I was waiting for the clue.
That's the clue. The clue is
Okay.
something like that. So
It's
we'll come back to
related
that
to
after
something
we've
about
discussed.
Philae.
This
Yeah.
seems insanely difficult.
Okay. If it
Okay.
were a multiple choice question, here are 3 answers that are not the right answer.
Okay.
Custer died there.
Well, that's not space related.
That's why it's not a multiple choice
I
question.
see. Okay.
Because the 4th one is the right answer, and it's the only one that's space related. McKinley was shot there, also not the case.
Not true.
The Pony Express started there,
Also not
also
true.
not the case.
Yeah.
So
way too far north.
I've taken out all 3 out of the 4 possible multiple choice things. So, let's talk Osiris-Rex.
Yeah.
Osiris-Rex is en route to an asteroid. We've just been talking about the Rosetta Philae mission to the Comet 67P, Churyumov-Gerasimenko.
Mm-hmm.
And the mission Osiris-Rex is heading to an asteroid now called Bennu. And why is it called Bennu? Who is
That's
Bennu?
what it was named.
So it's
Oh,
named by a
very
child.
good.
Mm-hmm. It was named by a child.
No, it's not named after somebody?
I
It's
believe
not-
it is
It
named
is.
after something, some kind of Egyptian god or
Yes.
something like that.
Oh, but
Yes.
it's not like an astronomer. Like a lot of asteroids are named after people.
No.
Right.
It's named after. It was clever. I remember reading about it. It was clever. You know, I'll find
Doesn't
it out
our
real quick.
old retired
Student
court
entries.
have an asteroid named after her?
Student entries.
She
3rd
does
grade
now.
student named Michael Puzio from North Carolina proposed the name in reference to the Egyptian mythological bird Bennu.
Here we go. I knew it was something Egyptian.
So Bennu is a small little asteroid. It is
Oh, because it's a heron,
What does small
And-
mean?
and Osiris has its
it's
arm.
bigger than a
Bigger than a
refrigerator,
refrigerator?
but smaller than a planet.
Correct.
That does leave a fairly wide range.
We could
It's
only
like
we could
its
think of
equatorial
something in
radius
between
is
those sizes.
275 meters,
That's small.
so it's very
That
small.
is pretty small.
It's bigger than a
less-
football stadium, but not much.
Its equatorial radius is 275 meters.
Oh,
yeah.
radius, okay, so its diameter is about 500 and some
500.
meters,
550.
600 yards. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could run around it. If you could stay on it, you could run around it in
Oh yeah.
15
What's
minutes
its
or something like
circumference?
that. 6 times 275,
Mm-hmm.
so it's 1,200 plus 450, so 1,650 meters.
So
So it's a
16.
mile,
Wow.
1 mile circumference.
So I could run around
That's
it in 4.5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It'd be difficult though to run around it because of the
It'd
low
be very
gravity.
difficult.
Right.
Maybe if you put some
You need to put some weights
retro
on.
rockets that
Yeah.
fired up
Yes.
like they did in Armageddon, so you could run around it normally. Just don't ever bend over. I'm sorry, that was the stupidest freaking thing ever.
Josh.
I want to buy that movie just to watch that.
We should do a
line
riff tracks.
over and over again. What's that?
Of Armageddon, or like MST3K type thing,
Okay,
where you talk over the top of it.
that would totally be awesome.
All right, we'll
And then
do
we
it.
could do Deep Impact also.
And then we can all make fun of the terrible science and Deep Impact.
Very
But
bad
there will be
very
very
bad
bad
acting.
acting. Yeah.
The gravity on the surface of Bennu is 10 micro-Gs.
Is that right?
So that's 10 to the minus 5 Gs, which is 10 to the minus 4 meters per second squared.
So is the idea, I thought the idea was to send Osiris-Rex there and have it be in orbit around this thing for a few years before it actually
It's
does
kind of
grab it.
formation flying.
Yeah. It's like orbiting with it. I think. I don't know if it's in orbit around it as much.
Oh.
I think
Okay.
you're constant when
Okay.
you're orbiting something that's got that little mass.
Mm-hmm.
You have to constantly be firing your own propulsion system to maintain your desired attitude. So you're just sort of like cruising along, flying in formation with it.
Okay.
But the really exciting thing about Osiris-Rex is that it'll be bringing back some of that asteroid to the Earth.
Awesome.
Also, they have a pretty sweet website.
And they have a sweet website.
Yeah. Sample return missions are kind of the coolest of the space missions because we actually, well, not maybe the coolest, but they're very cool.
They're
They
very
actually
cool.
grab a piece of asteroid and bring it
Bring it
back to
back.
Earth.
When they actually work.
Rovers are cool.
Yeah, rovers are
So-
cool. They're just, yeah.
'cause you,
robots roaming around the surface of another planet doing
Right.
experiments. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, yeah.
And man missions are cool. Actually, they're all cool. Never mind.
Yay!
I'm just disparaging orbiters, which are boring.
Like
Boring
Cassini.
orbiters.
Mm.
So it's going to bring back 2 grams, as I believe.